Hey everybody. Alright, so this video is a little overdue, but yeah, I'm going to talk today about the proposed changes Valve has made for the next update regarding the Ambassador, the Deadringer, and the Eternal Reward. I picked this footage not really because I think it's all that great or exciting, but more because it's kind of unremarkable, and I think a good example of the problems that do exist with these items. So this map is Swiftwater, and one thing that's pretty outstanding about it for this loadout is there are a ton of full ammo packs within close range of each other, and a lot of wide open spaces for you to use the Ambi's long range power with. Really, it's a map that you can frankly get away with just using the Deadringer and Ambassador on exclusively, but of course, plenty of opportunities, especially with the speed boost from the Deadringer and the risks that allows you to take to really use the Deadringer and the knife quite effectively too. So for the Ambassador, Valve's proposed fix is to remove the perfectly accurate shot every 1 second, and just add some random spread to every shot. I really have a big problem with that proposed change, although I do agree with the reasons for doing so, or wanting to do so. It is a little unfair that as a spy you can get into all these really unexpected locations that are often very far away from the enemy and kill large health classes with very little risk. You know, if I'm up here in this building by these full packs, there's not a whole lot anyone can do if I'm just sitting back popping out headshots. You know, people are going to come chasing for me, and I've just got infinite feigns to work with. I've got 3 packs here, all close together, and a couple other full packs not too far away if I really need to go to them. And that is unfair. But I think that nerfing the spread, the precision of the Ambassador basically takes away what makes it a very special and beloved item among spies. And I think there are other ways to accomplish what it's trying to accomplish. The most intuitive idea to me seems to be to simply add ranged damage fall off to headshots. So I think, you know, a reasonable number or, you know, way of handling that might be simply to take whatever damage it would have done as a distant shot. You know, 17 health is or 17 damage is the minimum, and double it. So at, you know, the minimum damage for a headshot at, you know, maximum range with the Ambassador would be what I would consider a reasonable 34. Now maybe I'm biased, but I also don't really believe that the Ambassador is overpowered. I do think it's kind of the gun to use if you're using the Deadringer. I actually prefer the Latranger with both the Cloak and Dagger and IW. But yeah, the potential for picks that just aren't available with other guns is so strong with the Ambassador that it's a little much. Nonetheless, I do kind of think it's not really overpowered, so I'm not going to beg for this, but I actually think that maybe a tiny little counter buff to removing full damage headshots, like maybe just a reduction of you know, non-perfectly accurate, the spread in non-perfectly accurate shots, you know, would be reasonable, or just something small like that I think might be a little called for, and frankly just make us spies feel a little better about the whole situation. But yeah, so the Ambassador is coming into play a lot in this game, but really just what stands out to me watching this is just, I never feel in danger or in jeopardy at any point in this footage. I have so many packs around, and I can be so active while being so safe. You know, I just with these packs and the being able to you know, really not worry about people that come to pursue me, and, you know, frankly, that they're not doing the team a favor when they're spending the whole game chasing around a spy. You know, frankly, it feels a little like trolling, just surfing these packs and making half the team run around on a wild goose chase. You know, and that's really not the way I want to be in a competent spy. I don't want to be playing around ammo packs and you know, essentially playing around frustrating people into playing poorly. I think we can do better. But I would like to say that I don't think the Deadringer is overpowered, much like the Ambassador. I actually find I have the easiest time and have like the most dramatic kill streaks or just most consistent success with on payload red as I'm doing now. I choose typically the Cloak and Dagger, the Kunai, and the Tranger. I don't use any of the items that are proposed to be nerfed because they work great, you know. And in competitive play, that's also the case. I use the IW or the Cloak and Dagger if I'm going for some specific picks or want to give good intel, and I use the Deadringer if I want to emphasize gun use and aggressive play and being a distraction. So I don't think this is about balance. I think these changes are about making the items more fun and less annoying to, you know, Spy's opponents, which is super valid and I do think needs to be done. So just given that I think the Deadringer is okay, I think that Valve's proposed changes of removing pack regen for Cloak is just absolutely necessary, but I do think the counter buff would be merited. The first idea that comes to mind is really the simplest, just speed up the recharge time. You'll still get a lot less fangs than Deadringer Spies are getting now, and like Valve said in their blog post, it would add some rhythm to it, you know, and which is in comp a big thing. You know, it's very important to keep track of when the spy dies or feign and then anticipate them at a certain time. And just being able to do that more, I think would be great because it's a skill for non-spies to develop, you know, their sense of timing and when to expect a spy, and it's something that spies will have to deal with too and adjust to. You know, they will have to rely more on switching up their timing and being a little more creative with how they use the Deadringer. But there we go. That's really what it takes to defeat what I was doing there, just hanging out at the back and waiting for me to show up unexpectedly and with low health. So yeah, okay. Now let's do a little review of the Eternal Reward and its situation. Now, from what I understood with Valve's blog post, the problem doesn't seem to be that it's OP like the Deadringer Ambassador concerns. It seems like their main concern is that nobody runs it. Now, I've got to insist, that's not because it doesn't work well. In fact, I find it works fantastically in pubs against, frankly, lesser skilled opponents, which I don't think invalidates the success you can have with it. Noobs, for lack of a better term, are just a part of gaming and a part of Team Fortress, and a part of being a spy is, you know, really kind of exploiting those players. And as you see in this demo here, like, these guys are just, they don't get it. I'm stabbing people right in front of them and it just doesn't register because they're new. And I'm having such rewards. Oh gosh, excuse me, pun not intended. For the bonus of the snipe, and honestly, like, not having that disguise will is just not an issue here. I mean, I'm just shooting that guy. He's basically giving me his back right now. So yes, I think the problem with the Eternal Reward is more that it's a knife that relies on the imperfections of your enemy for the bonus to pay off. And really, one thing that's important to note here is there are no sentries. I honestly think that the number one reason, if not the reason, that the Eternal Reward isn't really run is because sentries absolutely shut it down sometimes. That's the case in Highlander 2. So I think Valve is onto something with ammo packs and disguises interacting. But man, the cloak duration penalty is way too extreme. I honestly would keep using the current Eternal Reward over the proposed fix. But I think they're onto something, so I guess what I would suggest is adding a time limit to disguises, much like your cloak charge or a DR feign. You disguise and then you've got a certain amount of time before the disguise just vanishes and runs out. Maybe you could replenish that with ammo, maybe not. I think that would take some... I'd actually have to kind of actually use the item to see which to go with. But even if not, just being able to disguise for a little bit, and then maybe disguises you get on stabs could be permanent, I don't know. But yeah, disguising on will, just something to give spies a way to deal with sentries with the Eternal Reward. I really think it's enough. So yeah, but again, I mean, just look at this. When you've got oblivious players, like it's the best knife to choose, just because, you know, new players just they don't know how to handle it, and yeah, you can just kind of use the item to profit off of that in bugs. Yeah, so again, I think we're trying to fix it being fun, not underpowered or overpowered. Yeah, well, I hope all that was interesting, or there was some insight to it. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.